drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm here with my good buddy, Miss Tierra KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood. What's going on, T? How you doing?
Nothing much. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now you sent me something that I thought was absolutely just freaking hilarious. It had to do with this actress Paula J. White. Did I say it right?
Paula J. Parker.
Paula J. Parker. Damn, I
Paula
don't know
J.
why I keep wanting to say Paula J. White. You know why I keep wanting to say Paula White? It's because remember Paula White on, or maybe it was Vanna White. I'd get it mixed up. The TV show, like Paula White is like, man, I'm just messing. There's Betty White, Paula White,
There's
white
Brian
people.
White.
I know. Let me just stop. Let me stop. Anyway, does anybody know who this actress is? Give me a yes in the chat if you know who this actress is. This is Paula J. Parker. I keep saying
Parker.
White. Paula J. Parker, who
Parker.
is who literally kind of got some attention online because she posted this royalty check, and you've seen her in all these movies and everything, and the check was literally like 78 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of floored by that, that she would actually have a royalty check of just 78 cents after this lady has literally done like 10 trillion movies, and and she's been around for a long time. Uh, I thought was this check was she like kind of trolling the audience with this, or was this real?
No, I'm pretty sure that's real. So that's the SAG check. It's called a residual check. It's a form of a royalty, but basically, somewhere in her career, in the span of her 100+ movies or TV shows or whatever she's done, she now gets a residual at once if something airs on television or something is shown anywhere, she gets a residual of that.
Okay. So
Hmm.
let me be the first to say that residual looks like BS.
For
The
sure.
check was literally 78 cents.
Yeah.
And I used to think that a job, like a regular job, was the biggest scam in America, right? That you know why a job is the biggest scam in America, right? Do you know that? You know
Tell me.
why?
Tell me.
Because it's one of the few places on earth where you could work your ass off for 50 years and have less money when you finish than you did when you started.
Mm,
Right? Right. You let me know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Like literally there are newborn babies being born to today that have a higher net worth than a lot of people who've been working 40 or 50 years. Yeah, right.
mm.
But I used to think the job was the biggest scam. Now I'm starting to think becoming an actress is the biggest scam because Paula J. Parker, Paula J. Parker, that's not a game. Like this lady's been in some stuff.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
not a green actress. It's not like she's a nobody.
No.
She's what is she? She's like the cheap Tisha Campbell, like the one that you get when you can't hire Tisha Campbell.
Boys, Paula J. Parker is not the cheap version of Tisha Campbell.
They look
Um,
alike, and she always plays the hooker. You know she does. She always plays the crazy hoe. She does.
but she has had some good. So I did a project with Paula years ago, and she was just, to me, it's like she didn't get her just due. Like, I mean, she's played a lot of characters, right? I'm not gonna say she didn't. She has not. But on that particular movie that we did together, she was not a hoe. And actually, she was like the OG on set. Like, she was so, watching her get into character and watching her like transform, she's a professional. That's what she is. I have respect for her. So I'm not gonna let
Okay.
you cheap version of Tisha Campbell her. She is dope.
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't want to be mean because she could be
Don't be
watching.
mean. Don't be
I'm
mean.
not trying to be mean, but you know what I'm talking about. Like
I do know.
everybody knows. Like
I do
most of
know
the
what you mean.
roles that she was most famous for. Because I remember, like I before I knew her through you. Like it sounds like you really know her, right? Like you've worked with her. I just knew her for what her brand was. And
Right.
me and my wife used to make a joke. We used to be like, okay, every time, like if you couldn't hire Tisha Campbell, you would hire her because they look alike. And she would not play, like she would play those roles that just, like how about this? Her most famous roles were the roles that were the sort of stereotypical nonsense
It's
that
true.
we know that they ask black people to do in Hollywood. Not to say she can't do other things.
It's
For all I
true.
know, she could have gotten straight A's at Juilliard, but y'all know what it is. They reduce us to stereotypes. And I always thought that if you sold your soul to the devil, you would get a check bigger than 78 cents. I didn't know the devil was only sending out 78-cent checks. I thought the devil was sending riches. Like, what's going on? How the hell can somebody who's 53 years old, been up in the game, since Jesus was in high school. Literally, I mean, been in the game since you know what I mean, since Martin Luther King was a baby, right? And get a check for 78 cents. What kind of royalty is 78? What the hell? I don't understand. Like, would that be like her monthly check, or was that just a special check for a special project? Like, what? Please explain the 78 cents
Okay.
nonsense.
So I'm not sure what project this was from. Obviously, like I said, she has a long line, but it really depends on what type of investment you had on the project, right? When your SAG will send you, just depending on what negotiations were for that particular project, every time it airs, within 30 days, you receive a residual check, right? So it could have been anything that she's worked on, but she had a small role, just been like, had two lines or one line. And 78 cent is kind of like you can receive absolutely nothing all the way up till, I think I wrote it down in my notes, but the cast from Friends were getting residual checks for $20 million a year. So it really just depends on how long the production ran, your role in that production, and all of that matters. But that 78 cent is, that is that's just what that particular project. And then over the years, sometimes those amounts reduced, right? So she could have been getting a couple $100 a month, but like as time progresses, I think there's something that happens with the amounts, and they reduce and all of the things. So that's basically what happens, boys.
Mm. All right, everybody. I'm talking to Tierra KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood, and we're talking about actress Paula J. Parker, who pretty much, I guess, in the spirit of alignment with Taraji and others who've been talking about Hollywood pay and how horrible it is, she posted a check for 78 cents that she got for a royalty for something, and she put a little note basically saying, is this what SAG pays? Its NAACP award nominees and everything else. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of this stuff. Y'all can do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And also, Tierra, her website is realvirtual.net. If you have a business or building a business or starting a business and you want some help, you want some backup, you want some administrative support, some support on ideas, some support on implementation, do a free consultation at realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net, and they can help take care of you. And also tell them you came from Dr. Boyce, and they'll take $100 off if you do business with them. So remember, if you do business, everybody needs help. I'm at the Traffic Sales and Profit conference where I just spoke, Lamar Tyler's space, and there's so many Black entrepreneurs. And one of the things I noticed is that a lot of them are solopreneurs, and some of them are making good money as solo, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some making even millions of dollars. A lot of them making millions of dollars. And these are Black people, y'all. Like there are people out here really getting it done. Yeah. And I think sometimes we don't understand that we need help. That help is helpful, right? And that's what Real Virtual can do, is you can get the help that you need. So go to realvirtual.net. REEL. And also, this podcast is on Spotify. So look up Boyce Watkins on Spotify. You can find it there. So let's talk about this thing, T, with Paula J. White and this 78 cents royalty check.
Parker.
I don't understand. Like, I think that I'm fully convinced now that we oversell Hollywood to our kids. Like, I think that we oversell this, or we have too much belief in a dream that really isn't a dream. It's a false dream. It seems like it comes back it always circles back to like people being exploited, people not making any money, people saying that they didn't get paid enough. And it's interesting that, that these actresses are saying, hey, y'all, look at what they're doing to us. Look at what they're doing to me. I don't know what to do with that information. I just don't know what to do, because I didn't tell you to go to Hollywood and sell your soul in the first place. I don't know. Like, if you go out and you say, I'm going to be a high paid hoe, and then you don't get paid as much as you thought you'd get paid for being a high paid hoe, all I can say is, well, I told you not to be a hoe. What is the deal? Like, do you think that people are understanding now that maybe everything that glitters isn't gold?
No, I think for us out here, we knew that the glitter doesn't shimmer for very long, right? So let's just be clear that the 78 cents that Paula J is getting is not what Taraji is getting. Taraji is not getting a 78 cent check. Like, let's just, because there's levels, right? There's levels to where you are in your career. Just like we had the conversation about Vivica Fox, there's a difference between what all of these actresses are earning and their bracket of how they work, and what type of roles they're being called for. So let's just make that clear. But I do, the majority, I think I saw something a couple years ago that was just like, but it basically said that 98% of actors only earned, if anything, between $0 and maybe $5,000 over a span of like 2 or 3 years, right? So it wasn't even like you were getting paid. Really, what boiled down to like you were making $100 a month. I think the span was just something crazy. Basically, just saying that actors weren't making a lot of money. Like, if you weren't in that top 2% of actors that really make money, you weren't making any money.
Hmm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So one thing that's interesting about Paula J is that while she posted this check, I think kind of sort of sending a signal to say that I'm being exploited. I can't believe y'all doing this to me, that kind of thing. I think she kind of made it like a joke, but it was bigger than a joke. It was kind of like just saying, look at how dirty they're doing this out here. It was interesting because when Diddy was sued by Cassie, Paula got a lot of backlash because she actually said that, she said, I don't get it. I don't understand. She said, when I was 19, I could say no. I was in the industry just like Cassie. I could have done the same stuff. I chose to say no. And she said she almost seemed to feel that she couldn't understand how Cassie was identifying herself as a victim based on choices that she specifically made that a lot of women did not make. Do you think that there's a contradiction here? That on one hand, you're saying, I don't understand how this other person could have gotten exploited, when you yourself are claiming that you're also, sort of being exploited. At least that seems to be the signal she's sending with posting this check.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of deep, but I think that she did make decisions. Obviously, she's saying she didn't make those decisions that maybe other people are making in this industry. As we know, there's women that are sitting on the casting couch and doing all these things, going to Weinstein. Well, we're going to the Weinstein offices and accepting advances from agents and whoever was trying to sleep with them. Right? Paula saying, "No, I didn't do that." But now today she is, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of actors at this point have been scared to speak up about what's happening in the industry, and if it makes them look ungrateful, or if it makes them look a certain way, or if it'll affect their check. And so I think now is just like Me Too and all of the other things. There's like a timing thing that's happening, a season, if you will, where people are just feeling more confident about saying, listen, I should be getting more bread, but I'm not, so this is unfair. And she said there's seriousness to every joke. So even if it was a joke, her posting it lets us know that it's funny, but it's not funny. And that's what she's saying.
Wow. Isn't it interesting that in this picture, 3 out of 4 of the people have all complained about not getting paid enough? You got the pimp and the 2 hoes. I mean, literally, that's what they played in Hustle and Flow, which, by the way, is a brilliant movie. I mean, it's a great movie. I love that movie. I mean, it was really, people don't understand, it was really a love story disguised as a pimp and hoe situation. But it's really a love story. That's what I picked up.
Right.
But you know, but like, isn't that interesting though that the pimp and the 2 hoes are both now, Terrence Howard is suing. I think he's suing what, the CAA, right? Saying
Yep.
they didn't pay me enough.
Yep.
Taraji made waves during The Color Purple by
Mhm.
saying that she wasn't getting paid enough. I'm sure Oprah was ready to slap her upside the head. Um, and then you have Paula J. Parker, who's kind of joining in as the third voice. Now I want to ask everybody a question. Does anybody know who that white girl is? I have no idea who that is. You've been in Hollywood a long time. Who is
Yeah.
that white lady? It's funny. We know all 3 of the black people. We don't know the white lady. Who's the white lady?
I don't know her name at this moment.
We
She's
could
been
probably
in
Google it.
she's been in a few things. Let's see. Hustle and Flow.
Well, you
Yeah.
cheating. You're Googling now. You can't be Googling.
Her name is Taryn Manning.
Alicia Silverstone. Big Lex says Alicia Silverstone.
Her name is Taryn Manning.
Oh, okay. Both Bond and Big Lex said Alicia Silverstone. Isn't that interesting?
No, that's not Alicia Silverstone, but she kind of looks like her a little bit.
Okay, okay. Well, either way, it's kind of, and remember, Hustle and Flow, wasn't that one of those movies that blew up and nobody expected it? It's Taryn Manning, that's her name, right? She played Nola.
That's
And
correct.
Nola held it down. Remember when he got locked up after he beat up Skinny Black? This is
Yeah.
so this is such stereotypical Negro crap, right? So the rappers, so it's all about a pimp who wants to be a rapper who's coming up in the world, and then he beats the hell out of Skinny Black, and everybody's talking about it, and he goes to jail for beating up Skinny Black, and the white girl goes to the radio station and smokes weed with the DJ and gets his song played on the radio, and they live happily ever after, which is the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever seen in my life because I used to think that, right? I watched this movie and I actually found myself inspired, because it's like, if you stick with it and you go hard, because it's hard out here for a pimp. If you just
Correct.
stay with it and believe in your dreams, then one day
Yep.
you're going to be in jail and they're going to play your song on the radio and you're going to be happily ever after. Let me say this. I used to think that, right? Back in the day when I was at Syracuse University, I had this false belief that if I went on national TV one time, my whole life would change, literally. And so I got on national TV. I went on Fox News, actually. It was a lot of people watching, millions of people watching, because Hillary Clinton was on right before me. I was nervous as hell. And I just thought everything would be different, and it wasn't. And then I went on national TV again and again and again, probably like more times than I can count, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
No, there is no one moment that changes your whole life. There is no one moment where the agents and everybody's calling you and you suddenly got all these opportunities. No, I didn't. I had to build and grind slowly but surely. And to this day, actually, I mean, I've sold hundreds of thousands of my books and stuff. I've never ever had a book deal. I've never had a TV deal. I've never had a radio deal. None of that stuff. And I think that so I thought, so even as I think about that movie, I think black people are fed false dreams. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I think that we're fed these dreams that just aren't real. Like, really, like if your song gets on the radio, think about how many movies you've seen where a singer hears their song on the radio, they're like, Dream Girls, and they're we made it big. I don't think success works like that. I just don't.
Yeah.
And so I think that we end up kind of buying these sort of narratives. And then when people get on the other side of that, where you think they're living the dream, they're turning around like, no, that's not true. Like, remember Fantasia, when Fantasia would do interviews like that, where she would just say, nope, I went broke twice. And I ain't living the dream.
Yeah.
And I think that is interesting. I don't know. I almost think that we got to re-educate ourselves that whatever these white folks are selling in Hollywood, it ain't the ice cream and cookies that you think it is.
Actually, it's funny that you say Fantasia because I think that Fantasia is just about to walk into her superstardom, and here we are 20, is it more than 20 years later? And I say that because of The Color Purple and because of the nominations and because of, I just think that in Hollywood standards, she has kind of arrived. You see her everywhere. She looks like the it girl. Obviously, she's been styled. They have her on a trajectory, right? They're gonna take her somewhere. And that, I mean, we're 20 years later. If we're creeping up on 20 years since Fantasia was on American Idol. So, it's just it's a process in everything, boys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, I want to go back to Hustle and Flow. Nobody thought, first of all, it was a low budget film. So even though it had the success it had, and I'm not sure how they won an Oscar for the song, but I literally remember us watching the Oscars going, what?
Really?
Like Juicy, like Taraji and 3 6 Mafia was on stage rapping his heart out here for a pimp, and they won an Oscar for that song.
But it's so realistic. They were being so authentically black.
I don't know, but I remember just being so like, wow, what is this? Like, what, why this? I couldn't understand. And there are those moments when things slip through. I guess things slip through and things happen, and you're just like, okay, well, anything's possible.
Well, if you remember, Hustle and Flow came out, what, about 04, 05?
Yep.
Yeah, and remember 3 years earlier in 2001, Denzel won his first Best Actor award for Training Day.
Yeah.
And then you have some of these other movies coming out, with black people being maids and and whatever, just whatever the stereotype is. And I think people, have always picked up on that. And I think that what it really speaks to for us as Black people is we gotta sort of reshape what we consider to be success.
Yeah.
Like really, because sometimes what you think is success and honor and recognition is really you getting the biggest clown award. Like almost like they're playing with you. They're insulting your intelligence. They're almost, it's almost like you like I don't know. In a way, it's like it's like how people would make fun of the kid on the little bus, and he really thinks that he's like actually being awarded, or he thinks he's really got real friends, when
Yeah.
really they're kind of kicking him in the back, and or they let the little disabled boy run the football down the field, and everybody pretends to tackle him, and he really thinks he scored a touchdown. Like I almost feel like they play us like we are Boo Boo the Fool. Like they look at us when they say, look at this community. They're not that smart. They worship us despite the fact that we crap all over them every day. They don't have any economic power at all because they don't think about these things. They don't even love their children enough to invest for them. They will do whatever we say. Like has anybody ever seen, like, in a space, like they'll do it in movies sometimes, but maybe it's fictional, but I'm really intrigued. Or sometimes there's a leaked video or something. I'm always interested and curious about how white people talk about us when we're not around.
Mm.
They don't talk about us in a flattering way.
No.
They don't. They don't talk about us like, oh, these people, they're so amazing. They're this, they're that. They're so good. They're good. No, they talk about us like we are the biggest pack of buffoons on earth. That we'll fall for the banana in the tailpipe every time. That we're not worth much of anything. The only good we serve to the rest of the world is that we are easy to exploit, and they can get things from us. But they don't speak about our culture as if there's anything redeemable or good about that culture. I still remember seeing Bobby Smurder going to Epic Records. Remember he was dancing on the table, and all these white people are sitting there like watching him rap, and he's like standing up, like doing monkey moves and holding a pretend gun and shooting people. Like, I'll shoot you in the face. I'll shoot you in the face, right? And these white people are like, oh my god, this album is going to be so amazing. It's almost funny. Like it really is straight up CB4, like in real life.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like if you're gonna sell your soul and embarrass yourself like that and be a buffoon, at least be doing it for some real money.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can play stereotypical roles and get a check for $1 after it's over, like that's pretty bad.
Well, I don't think when we all, and I'm gonna group myself in here because obviously I've moved to Hollywood. I moved to Hollywood almost 20 years ago, along with, I'm sure, a lot of other people, right? When you're young, and I'm gonna keep saying this, boys, but when you're young and you see yourself working on television or see yourself in movies as a teenager. I mean, I think I was 13 when I saw What's Love Got to Do with It. And Angela Bassett I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but I want to do that. And I went and I
Mm.
trained. I went to school. I trained classically as a singer. I trained, like I went to drama. I did drama. I was a theater student, all the things, right? So you're not thinking like, I'm going to go to how you're just thinking like, I want to be on television. And it just so happens when I got here from New Orleans, Angela Bassett was one of the first people that I met. I was like, she was one of the first people that I met. And I remember I was crying. It was like right after Hurricane Katrina. And I was like, I just want to stay here and work. But I don't. And I remember her being like, if you stay here and work, if you stay here, you work hard, you do what you're supposed to do, you can work in this town, And I was like, oh, okay. But I remember that. And I think from an artist standpoint, like that's what you want. It was before the internet, before everybody wanted to be famous in the 90s, when you could be a TV and a movie star and then go home and not be paparazzi, not follow you around. Nobody cared what you were doing. It wasn't about being famous. Being an artist wasn't about fame. It wasn't even about making money. It wasn't about being rich. It was about being able to do your thing. And so I'm just
Mm.
gonna always
Okay.
defend artists in that way, because that initially that wasn't the point. But now in this time and space, people should be they should be taking, they should know the game and know how to monetize their brand and leverage all of that came as an adult, like understanding that part of it. But when you're young, you just want to be an artist. That's it.
Now wait, you mentioned the '90s. What the hell were you doing in the '90s? Like, how,
Well, I mean, I was
were you in LA in the '90s?
no, but I was training in the 90s. I was in
Oh,
theater.
you were training in the '90s. Okay, so it wasn't
Yeah.
like you were actually out there because I was like, that's the '90s was 24 years ago.
No, I wish I was here in the 90s. I think I would have it'd have been easier to work. I'd have been a child
Mhm.
star, but I'd have been a teenage. I'd have been working as a teenager, but I think it would have been easier because there were way more shows on television for us at the time.
Mhm.
Just all of that. But now I see it's a different Hollywood. It's not the same. It's not this
Mm.
game.
Well, everybody, I want you to know I'm talking to Tiara KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood, and we are discussing actress Paula J. Parker. And she showed a royalty check for 78 cents, which confused the hell out of both of us. If you could do us a favor really quickly, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, Tiara's business, her website is realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. How many wealth builders we got? Everybody who's a wealth builder, raise your hand. If you are a wealth builder or someone who wants to start a business or you've always wanted to do it and you don't know what to do, reach out to realvirtual.net and they can help you out. They can help you sort of get what you need in terms of support, ideas, kind of lay out a construct for you. So this REEL virtual.net. And also, if you do business with them, tell them that Dr. Boy sent you and they'll take $100 off so you can get started. They'll do a free consultation with you as well. All right. And also, if you want to get investing tips and information from me, I send out profit alerts on stocks that I like. Everybody should be a stock market investor. We know that Black people are now the largest group of new stock market investors in the country. We've achieved that goal. Now we want to go further. Now we want to just dominate everybody. So now that you're doing it, I want you to do it hard. I want you to take it to the next level. That's what we're going to do. So if you want to get stocks that I'm buying, I can help you out. I can send you our $5 a day investing plan. Lots of free resources. Just pull out your phone, text the word stock to 87948. Text stock to 87948. And if you want to join us every morning for financial consciousness training every morning at 10 a.m., you can go to drboyceelevate.com. That's drboyceelevate.com. Now, T, that was my wife calling me to tell me that she's walking to the car in her flight home. And so that I can go and be a good husband.
Hey,
Do you have any final closing thoughts that you'd like to share?
yes. I love what you always say about us needing to put our artistry. It's very hard sometimes for artists to also understand business. And so I think we get ourselves in terrible situations just wanting to be artists and just thinking like, I don't know about the money. I don't care about the money. I just want to be an artist. And we end up with 78-cent checks, So I
Mm.
think it's really important, and one of the things that you've definitely taught me over the course of our friendship is to really just pay attention to that, and start to think about what it looks like down the line, and not taking just anything, and leveraging your brand and all of that. So I think if every artist could get that, then maybe we wouldn't just be receiving 78-cent checks.
Well, and I think that's true, right? I think that it's what the advantage that the melanin deficient people have in Hollywood is that they really understand the whole business model. They understand all of it, the whole process, production, distribution, and monetization. They know how to create something, distribute it to the public, and then make money from it. And I just think that anybody who wants to be an artist needs to understand that whole process too, so you can know how to fit into that space. Because there are people who do entertainment like stuff who are killing it, making a ton of money. You got even people on YouTube. You and I talk about people like Mr. Beast and stuff like that. He's doing Hollywood level productions at the age of 25, putting millions of dollars into YouTube videos and making millions of dollars back. So there are models out there. And I think that with all the talent that our people have, I mean, we are the most talented people on the planet, I believe. I just really think that we are just one of a kind, epic, extraordinary. And if we just sort of apply that same talent to business, and understand that how valuable we are in a lot of contexts. Like, for example, you're a great actress. I've seen you. You're an extraordinary comedic actress. You have all this experience as a producer. You're a writer, singer, director, all these other things. Those skills can be applied in a lot of areas.
Right.
As I'm sitting here at the Traffic Sales and Profit Conference, there are plenty of people who are doing things and making millions of dollars here that
Mhm.
are doing things similar to what you're good at, right? They're good at, giving a pitch and talking to a customer. And I was performing. I got on stage and did my thing and blah, 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 right? And then the other point I wanted to get at too is what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, or like so in the spirit of understanding that your skills can be applied in multiple areas, it's
Mhm.
very important for Black people to realize that you're valuable even if white people don't want you. That's
Mhm.
the mistake we make. We believe that if white folks blackball us or don't hire us or don't want us, that we're worthless or that we're worth more when they're extracting our talent and our power than we are when we have access to our own power, right?
Yeah.
So, and an example is, and it happens to even the smartest, most educated of us. I have a PhD. I know lots of Black college professors who are struggling financially because they don't understand how their genius can be applied in 1,000 different areas. Like
Yeah.
they really believe, and think about this, these are some of the smartest people on the planet, top 1% Mensa types. They don't
Yep.
read as many books as Cat Williams, but they're pretty smart,
Yep.
right? And think about this, the universities have them so scared that they're literally like so afraid of being blackballed that they'll sit there and sort of foot shuffle along, demean themselves at sub mediocre pay out of fear that the universities won't want them anymore.
Yeah.
That's a damn crime. It's a shame. It's an embarrassment. In my view, if you busted your ass to get a PhD, which is hard as shit. I mean, to get a real PhD is really hard. I can't speak of all these fake PhDs. There's a lot of people that got honorary degrees, weekend doctorates on. No, me and my wife like went through hell to get our doctorates. And I said, I'll be damned if I'm gonna go through all of that, grind like that 10 hours a day and be that good at what I do and have you
Mhm.
tell me that I'm only valuable if you want me.
Mhm.
That's no different from an abusive relationship where somebody said, well, if I don't want you, nobody will. We'll see about that. Because I'm gonna exercise my damn options because I know my worth. You know what I'm saying? So when
Yeah.
people say I know my worth, knowing your worth doesn't mean that you're gonna just go back to the same person that ain't paying you before and say, I know my worth, pay me more. And they ain't paying me, y'all. They ain't paying me, y'all. That's not knowing your worth to me. Knowing
Yeah.
your worth is where somebody says, look, I'm not gonna pay you what you think you're worth. And you say, okay, no problem. And then you go to the other 50 people who will. You quietly just go to the other spaces. Like I did not, when I walked away from Syracuse and academia, I didn't walk away pissed off and mad. Hey, look at how they doing me, y'all. They ain't paying me, y'all. They won't hire me, y'all. I didn't do that. I didn't do Kaepernick did that with the NFL. I didn't understand that. I said,
Okay.
okay, Cap, look, man, you're worth millions. Like you could start a sports league. You can go do movies, books, whatever. You can make more money off the field than you can on the field. Why are you still begging for a job? Like that doesn't make any sense. We got to stop all the begging and start building and really see our value, right?
See,
And
but that's
and that's a self-esteem exercise. Please, I'll
yeah.
let you get the last
No,
word. Go
I
ahead.
was just about to say, but that's the thing, right? And I'm so glad you use Cap as an example because all Cap's life, he saw himself working in the NFL. And it's crazy because when you see that and you're so fixated, like, that is my dream. And then to get there and then that happened, you're still like hung up, like, that's what I saw for myself. And that's what I was saying about some of my friends who are actors who will not consider themselves any other way because it's like I saw myself on TV. I'm like, but you could start a business and sell this and do that. They're like, no, I saw myself doing this. Even if actors aren't being paid, they're making $5,000 every 3 years. Like they're still like, no, but this is what I want. You made 20. Literally, one of my friends made $10,000 in a year, and I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand it. I just couldn't
Mm.
understand it by just like wanting to be an actor. So
Wow. Mm.
but that my point was like the whole idea of like Kaepernick, that kind of thing, like where people
Mhm.
only see themselves working in this lens, like that's their dream and that's it. They
Mhm.
can't see themselves outside of it.
And there we have, ladies and gentlemen, Negro brainwashing in a
Yeah,
nutshell. That's what
yeah,
it is, right? They feed you your dream, and they give you the bullshit dream. They don't give you the real dream. The real dream is typically your greatest success lies outside of your comfort zone. And when you're a kid, they give you this little box and they say you're black, you're supposed to be NFL, NBA, hip hop, comedian, whatever. But then you
mm-hmm.
start visualizing yourself in that space, and you start defining yourself, and then you learn the hard lesson that I think most of us as black people never admit, which is that your greatest enemy is not the white man. Your greatest enemy is yourself. You're
Mm.
the one who put yourself in that box. You could be so much bigger than the box, but you can't see outside the box because they put you in that box when you were little, and you've been in that box even up until the age of 50.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a box, you know.
Right.
So anyway, I want to say thank you very much, T. It was great. I'm glad you got up and did this with me. It was awesome and an honor to talk to you as always. I
Always.
want everybody to see Dr. I would like to, let me see here. Let me share Tiara's website. It's realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. Realvirtual.net can help you get your business going. So everybody who's a wealth builder, business owner, etc. What's up, Mark the Great? I see you in there, brother. Just go to realvirtual.net, and Tiara's business can help you get your business going. She's got a whole team of people that can help you with staffing and ideas and getting things done. A lot of times the ideation is the easy part. It's the implementation that's the hard part. They can
Right.
help you with the implementation. So go do a free consultation. Won't cost you a penny. Real Virtual, REEL virtual.net. Now, every morning we do financial consciousness training. If you'd like to join us for that, you guys can go to drboyceelevate.com. We're on day 27 of financial consciousness training, but you can actually start the training from day one. You can go to drboyceelevate.com. You can get one membership that is there for the whole family. It doesn't cost you that much, but I guarantee it will change your life, or we'll give you your money back. So feel free to go to drboyceelevate.com, and you can also get profit alerts sent to you from me by texting the word stock to 87948. I'll tell you what stocks I'm buying and get you started on investing. So have a good night, everybody. God bless you, and thank you very much, T. And hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And don't forget, this podcast is on Spotify. Just look for my name there. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.